Hey, 49ers fans, we need to talk about something that shook the team and the fan base to the core. Nick Bosa, the cornerstone of the San Francisco 49ers defense, suffered a devastating ACL injury in that early season win over the Arizona Cardinals. The moment he went down, you could feel the weight of the situation. Bosa is not just any player. He's a leader, a team captain, and someone the locker room looks up to for inspiration and intensity. His absence is going to be felt deeply, not just in the stat sheets, but in the very identity of this defense. The reactions from his teammates were immediate and heartfelt. On social media, players expressed disbelief, frustration, and a sense of personal loss because they know what it means to have a teammate like Nick on the field. He's someone who doesn't just play the game, he embodies it. His Instagram post was simple, yet spoke volumes. A broken heart. That one image said everything about what he and the team are feeling right now. To understand the gravity of this injury, you need to look at Bosa's history. His career has been a series of highs, but also marked by moments where injuries have tested him. Back in high school, he partially tore an ACL during his senior year. At Ohio State, he faced a core muscle injury that required surgery, yet he fought through and continued to impress scouts. When the 49ers picked him second overall in the draft, right behind Kyler Murray, they knew they were getting a special talent. His rookie season proved that. He missed some of training camp, but quickly established himself as a dominant force. By his second year, in 2020, he tore his left ACL, adding to the previous high school injury, and then dealt with a groin injury the following season that limited his play more than many realized. And now, in the third game of the current season, he suffers a right ACL tear. For a player who invests everything into his craft, this is a gut punch. For the 49ers, it's a challenge unlike any other because since entering the league, Bosa has been an elite pass rusher, a relentless force in the playoffs, and a leader whose presence alone commands attention from opposing offenses. Despite this setback, the 49ers have shown they can fight without him, at least in the short term. The game against the Cardinals proved that. The defense adapted, made stops, and held its ground when it mattered. But the reality is, sustaining this level of play over a full season without Nick Bosa is going to test the depth, creativity, and resilience of this team. Robert Saleh and the coaching staff now face the challenge of adjusting schemes, rotating personnel differently, and putting players in positions to succeed. The defensive back end will need to step up, and Saleh will likely have to incorporate more aggressive strategies, including additional blitz packages, to offset the absence of a player who can single-handedly disrupt offenses. Looking back at 2020, when Bosa missed part of the season due to injury, the defense managed to perform admirably in key metrics, ranking 8th in expected points added, 9th per drop back, and 5th per rush. That shows the collective strength of the squad and the effectiveness of the coaching. But it doesn't diminish the fact that losing a player of Bosa's caliber changes everything. One bright spot, though, has been Bryce Huff. His performance so far this season has been impressive, showcasing a fast get-off and the ability to penetrate backfields effectively. But the truth is, he thrives with Bosa on the other side. Bosa's presence demands double teams and draws attention, creating opportunities for players like Huff to shine. Without Bosa, opposing offensive lines can redirect their focus, and the 49ers will need to find ways to maintain pressure, disrupt plays in creative ways. The versatile defensive packages that were so effective early in the season, including line shifts and the NASCAR package where Bosa could play multiple positions along the defensive line, are now harder to implement. This makes every decision from the coaching staff more critical, every rotation more scrutinized, and every adjustment on the fly a test of the team's depth and preparation. In addition to dealing with this injury, the 49ers have faced a troubling trend with player health in recent years. Several key contributors, including Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle, have also dealt with injuries, some severe, that impacted their availability. This sequence of injuries highlights the fragility of maintaining a high-performance roster in the NFL and underscores the importance of building depth and having contingency plans. Even with these challenges, the coaching staff has demonstrated an ability to adapt, finding ways to maximize what they have on the field, and the team's current record is proof of their resilience. But the road ahead will be a true test of how well the 49ers can sustain elite performance without one of their foundational stars. Now, looking ahead, the team may have to consider strategic moves to reinforce the defensive line. Trades are an option, and the market has some interesting possibilities. Players like Trey Hendrickson, who has been one of the top pass rushers over the past 2 seasons, could provide immediate impact if acquired. Others, such as Kayvon Tibbetts or Jalen Phillips, bring potential in youth, though their availability depends on team situations and contract considerations. Each potential addition comes with its own set of risks and rewards, but the common goal is clear: mitigate the loss of Bosa and maintain a level of defensive dominance that has become synonymous with the 49ers in recent years. Through all of this, the narrative remains the same. The 49ers are a team that faces adversity head-on. Nick Bosa's injury is undeniably a huge blow, both on the field and emotionally for the team, but it also presents an opportunity for others to step up, for younger players to gain experience, and for the coaching staff to demonstrate creativity and adaptability. The chemistry in the locker room, the leadership of veterans, and the talent of the supporting cast will all be tested as the season progresses. Every play, every rotation, and every game plan will now carry extra weight, because the absence of a player like Bosa forces the team to find new ways to compete and dominate. As the 49ers prepare for the upcoming weeks, there's a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Fans are watching closely, analyzing every adjustment, and celebrating every successful stop or sack. The team's response to adversity will define not just this season, but potentially the trajectory of several careers. Injuries are part of the game, but how a team responds to them can separate good squads from great ones. In the case of San Francisco, the expectation is high, the coaching staff is experienced, and the players are capable. The question now is how they will navigate a season without one of their most impactful defenders. With Nick Bosa out, the 49ers are going to have to lean on creativity and depth more than ever, and that begins with evaluating potential trade options. The market for elite pass rushers this season is limited, but there are a handful of players who could realistically make a difference if the 49ers can make a move. Trey Hendrickson immediately comes to mind. Over the past 2 seasons, he has been among the league leaders in sacks, demonstrating consistent pressure against the quarterback and the ability to collapse pockets from multiple positions along the line. The Bengals, dealing with injuries and uncertainty at quarterback, might consider trading him, especially if they're not planning to extend his contract long-term. Bringing in someone like Hendrickson will provide a near-immediate boost to a defensive front that suddenly looks much thinner without Bosa. He has experience, production, and a relentless motor, exactly the kind of player who could step into a rotational role and help maintain the aggressiveness of the 49ers' pass rush. Beyond Hendrickson, there are younger players with upside who could be game-changers if given the right environment. Travon Walker of the Jacksonville Jaguars, for example, has been developing steadily since being the first overall pick a few years ago. While opinions on Walker's selection have varied, the potential is undeniable. He is versatile enough to play against both the run and the pass, and he is still improving in his technique and understanding of the game at the NFL level. A move for a player like Walker would not just be about immediate impact. It would be about securing a player who could grow into a long-term cornerstone on the defensive line, someone the 49ers could rely on for multiple seasons. Other names in the conversation include Kayvon Tibbetts from the Giants and Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins. Tibbetts has shown flashes of production, particularly in run defense, and he's under contract for the next season, giving the 49ers a layer of continuity. Phillips, when healthy, has been extremely productive in pressuring the quarterback and disrupting offensive schemes. Both players come with questions: Tibbetts' team struggles and Phillips' injury history, but they also represent opportunities for a team that needs to plug the gap left by Bosa. Sometimes the NFL is as much about timing and opportunity as it is about talent, and San Francisco's front office has demonstrated a willingness to be aggressive in season, making trades that others might shy away from. There are also players who have experience and versatility that could be immediately useful in rotational roles, such as Charles Omenihu, who revitalized his career with the 49ers before moving on, and Arden Key with the Titans. These are players who understand the system, understand positional flexibility, and can step into multiple roles along the defensive front. That versatility is crucial when a team loses a star like Bosa, because it allows the coaching staff to maintain some of the scheme creativity that has defined San Francisco's defense in recent years. The NASCAR package, for example, relied heavily on Bosa's ability to line up in multiple spots along the line. Without him, players who can play multiple roles become the linchpins of the defensive game plan. In addition to evaluating trades, the coaching staff will need to maximize the performance of existing players. Bryce Huff has shown he can perform at a high level, but now the challenge is making sure he is not overwhelmed by attention from double teams that previously went to Bosa. The responsibility on the defensive line to generate pressure falls more heavily on the shoulders of each individual player, and Robert Saleh will have to find ways to keep opposing offensive lines off balance. That could mean more stunts, more disguised pressures, and creative alignments that force quarterbacks into making mistakes. It will require precise communication, situational awareness, and a relentless focus on execution, because even a minor breakdown can be the difference between a stop and a touchdown. Depth in the secondary and linebacking core also becomes more critical. With Bosa gone, the defensive front may not collapse the pocket as consistently, meaning the backfield will be under greater pressure to cover tight ends, running backs, and wide receivers. Safeties will need to be quicker in rotation. Linebackers must maintain discipline in gap assignments, and the pass rushers still on the field will have to convert pressure into tangible impact. It's a chain reaction. Losing a star doesn't just affect one position. It reverberates across the entire defensive scheme. The challenge for the 49ers is ensuring that this chain does not break at any point, which is easier said than done. The upcoming games will provide a real litmus test for the team's resilience. The matchup against Jacksonville is a clear example. While the Jaguars may not be the most intimidating opponent on paper, the 49ers cannot afford to underestimate any team, especially while adapting to the absence of Bosa. Every defensive series will matter. Every pass rush opportunity becomes more critical, and the coaches will need to adjust play calling in real time to exploit weaknesses while protecting the team from big plays. This is where coaching ingenuity, player preparation, and mental toughness intersect. How well the team performs in these scenarios will not only affect their record, but will also shape the confidence and chemistry of the locker room as they move deeper into the season. Even with these challenges, there are reasons for cautious optimism. The 49ers have a proven track record of overcoming adversity, and their depth chart contains players with the talent and versatility to rise to the occasion. Linebackers who have previously played in multiple fronts, defensive ends capable of shifting inside when needed, and young talent eager to prove themselves all factor into the equation. Add to that a coaching staff that has demonstrated flexibility and strategic creativity, and you have a situation where the team can potentially weather this storm, even if it won't be easy. The narrative for this season has shifted, yes, but it also opens the door for other players to step into leadership roles, for new stars to emerge, and for the 49ers to show that their identity is bigger than any one player, no matter how impactful. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a shocking turn of events that has sent shockwaves through the NFL world, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, appears to have reached his breaking point. Sources close to the team claim that Shanahan, known for his usually composed and methodical approach, recently lost his temper in a team meeting and allegedly expressed a desire to see one of his star players leave the franchise. The details of the incident are murky, but insiders suggest it was triggered by a mix of on-field frustrations and off-field tensions that have been simmering for months. Fans and analysts are already speculating wildly about which player might be on the chopping block. Some believe it could be a high-profile offensive star whose performance has been inconsistent this season, while others hint at a veteran who has reportedly clashed with Shanahan over strategy and team culture. The timing of this revelation, if true, is particularly sensitive, coming just as the team is navigating a crucial stretch of games that could define their playoff chances. Shanahan's alleged outburst has sparked a wave of debate across social media, with supporters defending the coach's passion and critics questioning whether this marks a deeper crisis within the 49ers locker room. "You can't win without chemistry," one insider reportedly said, hinting that the coach might be prioritizing team cohesion over individual talent. Others, however, warned that the team could face a public relations headache if the player in question decides to push back or demand a trade. While neither Shanahan nor the 49ers organization have confirmed these claims, the rumor mill is running at full speed. Sports media outlets are now dissecting every word and gesture from recent press conferences, searching for subtle hints that might corroborate the story. Meanwhile, the player rumored to be at the center of this drama remains tight-lipped, adding fuel to the speculation. As the NFL world watches closely, one thing is clear. If these rumors hold any truth, the San Francisco 49ers could be on the brink of a dramatic shakeup. Fans are left wondering whether this is just a temporary flare of frustration from Shanahan or the beginning of a seismic roster change that could reshape the team's future. The coming days promise more intrigue, and one thing is certain. This story is far from over. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.